A very good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube. And this is our full-time live reaction of the Saturday evening kickoff in the Bundesliga between Bayern Munich, the German champions, up against their bogey team, Borussia Monchengladbach. And they certainly proved to be, yet again, Bayern Munich's bogey team after it ended 1-1 at the Allianz Arena. So Bayern Munich had won 3 out of 3 ahead of it before this game kicked off, and finally their 100% record has been stopped by Gladbach. And it was quite an interesting game, really. I mean, the first half, well, it was all Bayern Munich, but despite the possession and the dominance we saw from the German champions, it was Marcus Thuram who just ran from the halfway line, had an opportunity, and he slotted it into the corner of the net up against Manuel Neuer. And at half-time, despite Gladbach only having one shot on target, they had taken the lead. But then later on in the second half, Bayern Munich continued yet again to show that why they are probably the best team in Germany right now, and they finally got that goal from Leroy Sané to make it 1-1. But it could have been more goals for Bayern Munich if it wasn't for Mönchengladbach's Jan Sommer in between the sticks, who made over... Well, I've lost count, Stuart, of how many saves he made, but the last time I checked it was 15, with still a few minutes to go. But I think it's fair to say our man of the match contender might be very well and truly already given to us before we begin this discussion. But Stuart, great to have you on as always. You, of course, watched the game as well. But for Bayern Munich again, Stuart, that's the first. That is now, they have not beaten Mönchengladbach in the last 6 games. The last win over Mönchengladbach was last year, but it's been 6 games ever since. What happened? Was it just an unlucky day for Bayern Munich, or do you think Mönchengladbach deserved the draw?
Yeah, well, it's like you got Achilles on his ankle, Superman ankle tonight, and then you got Munich and Gladbach. Like they just seem to be like their Munich's weakness at the moment. But I don't think Munich did enough to win it. I thought they lacked a bit of creativity, and Sam had one of the games of his life.
I know. I was going to say because I'm just trying to find if we can find any stats here. I'm just going to actually look out on Twitter right now, but here we go. 19 saves were made against Bayern Munich. I'm just going to sneeze.
Because I think a lot of them were like, a lot of the shot, they're not good enough to be a keeper of like his standard. Like Munich need to do a lot better.
Well, I've just looked now. So Op to France, which I'd imagine is like the German version of Op to Joe. So it says here that Jan Sommer has made 19 saves against Bayern today, shattering the previous Bundesliga record in a single match in the competition held by Alexander Schruloff against Bayern Munich in January 2022. So it didn't last that long, that previous record from Schruloff, but that is something that Gladbach have already retweeted on their Twitter account. But as you can see, folks, the starting lineups are on the side of you. As you can see, quite a few yellow cards there. Sané getting the goal. But we must mention as well, Stuart, one of your favourite players, Sadio Mane. He had 2 goals disallowed in that first half before Gladbach took the lead. Bit unfortunate for him. But how have you found his? How have you found his time at Bayern so far? He's just gone straight in, hasn't he?
Yeah, it does upset me seeing him play for them. Like, I do really miss him. What a quality player he was for like Liverpool, but he seems to just fit in like perfectly at Munich. And he's like got into a system. Usually it takes a while to fit into a new league, but he's just done it like instantly. And he's always seems to be involved in like Munich scored a silly amount of goals this season, and he always seems to be like involved in like most of them.
I mean, let's go on our share screen and we'll go on the Bundesliga website. So here's the stats for you folks. So I mean, look at that. The expected goals for Bayern was 3.27. But I love it how it's their one goal is way below the expected goals when you look at the graph. While Mönchengladbach were expecting it to be 0.77, and they beat that today. So I think it's fair to say they'll be delighted with that. But look at this. 3 on target for Gladbach. Bayern had 20.
Yeah.
And that's also 15 off target, and Gladbach only had 2 off target. Possession, all Bayern Munich, 63% to 37. I mean, look at the passes. It's 90% for
Yeah.
Bayern. I mean, 612 made and then 281 for Gladbach. But I guess it just shows, doesn't it, Stuart? You know, for Bayern Munich, for Monchengladbach to only concede 1 goal against them, it just showed how hard it was going to be, because Bayern Munich have been scoring goals for fun, and we didn't think it'd be that easy for them without Robert Lewandowski.
Yeah, but everyone thought like Munich would struggle like Lewandowski, but I like how the goal seems to be like shared amongst everyone now. Like you can see anyone scoring now, whereas previously you'd always put your money on like Lewandowski getting the first goal, second goal.
I mean, we just got a comment here from YouTube saying Sommer was unreal. He was. I mean,
Yeah, fantastic.
he was the difference tonight between Mönchengladbach and Bayern Munich. And, you know, as a Man United fan, we were linked to him over the last week or two to be our second goalkeeper. I'm sorry, Jan. Stay where you are, mate, because you shouldn't be a second goalkeeper. You're too good for that. It is funny, though, isn't it? People talk about his height being a weakness. But really, Stuart, he makes that... You forget, he makes himself look bigger. Kind of like the Sandro Martinez in defence.
Yeah, definitely. I do think it's like the people look at keepers height. I don't think that means everything, unless like it's a penalty shootout when you're like got Donnarumma.
Yeah. I mean, Donnarumma's a great example. Absolutely.
Like, you look at him in a guy, he like makes it look like so small.
I mean, certainly inspires the midgets out there, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I think he is extremely like underrated. Jan Sommer is.
Looking at the shots, so Leroy Sané. I mean, funny enough, the men that got the most shots were the goal scorers. Leroy Sané with 8, Marcus Thuram with 2. In terms of distance ran, well, I mean, of course, Kimmich would win that against Christoph Kramer, but our cousin, or cousin from another mother, Alphonso Davies, as always, is the fastest runner whenever it comes to a Bayern Munich match at 35.97 kilometres an hour. Marcus Thuram, fastest for Mönchengladbach, even though he didn't have that much to do apart from score the goal.
Yeah.
But when you actually watch the goal back, Stuart, for Thuram, you could tell he was so glad the goal was where it was, because he thought, if it's any further away, I'm going to lose this ball and I'm losing my breath.
Yeah, definitely. He wasn't going to keep that up for long.
And for any of you lot who do the fantasy, well, I mean, it says it all here. Jan Sommer, 28 points he would have got you because of all those saves. I mean, it's such a shame he didn't get a clean sheet. It really is.
Yeah, he deserved one.
He did deserve one, but I guess for him and the Gladbach team, if they're not going to, well, make the most out of the fact that they had so many shots against them, I guess that goal was always going to come.
Yeah, definitely. At least they can be proud of themselves, considering Munich is it like 15 goals I think they scored, or
already this season.
It's up and selling.
No, it's
just reducing to 1.
Yeah, absolutely. It's incredible. Leroy Sané and Benjamin Pavard are joint top for their fancy team at 18 points. Joshua Kimmich 12 and Kone 5, Marcus Thuram 12. So those are your top 3 from both sides for your fantasy points tonight if you do the Bundesliga fantasy team. So anyway, let's just quickly look at the table if we can get that up. Here we go. We'll just quickly look at the results today. So, SC Freiburg from yesterday, they beat Bochum 1-0. Leverkusen, even though they were down to 10 men at one point, they won 3-0 away from home at Mainz. Leipzig, Christopher Nkunku scoring twice there for Leipzig to get the win against Wolfsburg earlier on today. Hoffenheim 1, Augsburg 0. Union Berlin, we'll check the table in a minute, but they should be the current league leaders by beating the newly promoted team of Schalke 6-1 away from home. My mate Billy's a Schalke fan. He will not be happy about that. Hertha Berlin 0, butchered Dortmund 1. That was Modeste who scored for them after, of course, last weekend was not a good weekend for Dortmund fans, so a good recovery from them. And the final 2 games of the weekend is FC Cologne tomorrow at 2:30. They host Stuttgart, and Werder Bremen, who beat Dortmund 3-2 by scoring those 3 late goals after being 2-0 down. Incredible. They host Eintracht Frankfurt. So Bayern up against the league leaders next of Union Berlin next Saturday. And Monchengladbach will be up against Mainz on Sunday at 4:30. Let's check out that table. So actually Bayern Munich are joint top with Union Berlin. I don't know about you, Stuart, but I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting how it goes because Union Berlin have had a really, really impressive start. So we'll see how they get on to the mighty Bayern Munich. See if they can give them a game and give them a challenge, and hopefully they can get a win over them to make the league a bit more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, it is at Union Berlin. It's if no one has seen the stadium yet, it's quite the old-fashioned stadium, but it's a great atmosphere. I've never been. Have you been, Stuart?
I've gone past it, and it looks, but I've never actually been inside it. But it's definitely one on the list.
Yeah, it's definitely one to try out. Old-fashioned ground, but great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's nice to see different stadiums. It's got a bit unique. I quite like some of the old-fashioned stadiums.
Yeah. SC Freiburg just a point behind them. So are Dortmund. So are Hoffenheim. Mönchengladbach with that well-deserved draw, hard-fought draw today. They are 6th in that Conference League spot. Of course, early days, only after four games, but just 2 points behind. I mean, Stuart, is it? I mean, we saw today, even with Bayern Munich's squad that they've got and the depth that they've got, when you saw De Ligt come on, them kind of likes of people, and Gnabry and Musiala coming on from the bench, is that just enough to make you think that Bayern Munich are going to make it 11 titles in a row?
Yeah, I think you'd be very brave to say they wouldn't. I think Dortmund, that game last week you said about, there's things like that they can't let happen if they want to stop Munich, because Munich are going to get massive points, and they just need. When you're in that situation, you can't afford to drop points even in this early stage of the season. And Leipzig have had a terrible start.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? I mean, Leipzig are currently 10th on 5 points. They've won 1, drawn 2, and lost 1. So today was the first win of the season. So just shows how much they've needed it. Even though Timo Werner's come back, which is a massive boost for them with him up front with Nkunku, it just shows really that they need to get themselves going, otherwise they're going to fall behind.
Yeah, especially when there's a lot of rumours Nkunku could go as well. They could struggle even more then.
Yeah, he'll definitely be. I mean, is it Liverpool that have been after him for next summer? I've read.
There's quite a few in Chelsea have been linked, Liverpool, the Spanish clubs. So it's a highly wanted name. So.
I'm just going to check out if there's anything from the Bundesliga Twitter account. See if they say anything about that. Yeah, there's a bit of a psychopathic reaction from Nagelsmann on the sidelines from that.
Oh, I can imagine.
From that result. I'm sure he's delighted that they didn't lose, but let's read more comments. We got YouTube saying Manchester United bid for Sommer incoming. that behind the Anthony bid, I'm sure. He also says Leroy Sané played well today. Hope he stays. I mean, I didn't know there was any. Was there any links of him leaving YouTube's? I've not heard anything. I'd imagine Sané will stay for another season. I think this is his 3rd season now for. Well, yeah, 3rd season for Bayern Munich. I think he joined. Yeah, I'm sure he joined in the summer 2020 from Manchester City. And speaking of Manchester City, Erling Haaland getting a hat-trick today, a former Bundesliga player. I mean, that guy is going to go places if he can continue to convert his Bundesliga form to the Premier League between now and the end of the season. I think that's 5-6 goals for him already. Quite incredible. We did ask you folks at home for your man of the match. I put in 3 options. The maximum we can actually put in is 4, but I couldn't think of a 4th one. And to be honest with you, I don't think there's any need because Jan Sommer has received every vote so far at 100%. Sane at 0% and Marcus Thuram at 0%. And I guess what I'm going to ask you, Stuart, is who's your man of the match?
I'm gonna go with Thuram. I'm joking. It's got to be. it's got to be the keeper because Summer. Because like, you're not gonna get that many saves, and like, cause that's the record. It probably won't be beaten for a while, and without him, they could have been beaten by like a few goals. So he's the only option you can have.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Jan Sommer as well. So I think it's fair to say that at this moment in time, the Let's Talk Sport man of the match for Bayern Munich and Monchengladbach today is going towards Mr. Jan Sommer. Jamie Burgoyne says, my man of the match was Seb True. Well, actually, I'd call him the failure of the match because he never turned up on the stream. And because of that, he is fired. But
Do we have a failure of the match vote?
We should do that. Maybe we should do that in the future. Actually, let's go for one now. Out of all the players you saw, who was the shittest? Let's go with that.
Alpha Meccano.
He had a poor game, didn't he?
Yeah. I thought he really struggled.
Because
he got bullied.
He got bullied, and also he didn't really. He couldn't keep up with Thuram either, could he? When he scored.
No, not at all.
And let's be honest, for Neuer, if it wasn't for that moment, he would have had a clean sheet. Because I don't think Gladbach would have scored otherwise.
No.
But it just shows if you take your chances, you might get Salford at the end of it. I'll tell you what, the one player I didn't rate today, maybe Sabitzer. Didn't see much of him. Koeman again on the right. How good was he?
Yeah, amazing.
I think I was reading that during the match, they normally put the action areas of where it's the most lively and more activity.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And it was Bayern Munich, most percentage on the right from Kingsley Coman. But I would love to know, folks, how do you actually pronounce his name? Because the commentators keep changing it. It's either Coman, or K-Man or something like that. And I'm like, surely it's Coman. I don't get it.
He's going to have to do one of those videos which teams have been doing lately, pronouncing names.
I'm surprised they've only done that recently because I've been trying to pronounce names ever since I was able to talk.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, though. They should do that every season whenever they've got a new squad to announce and all that. Which player from the Gladbach team would you say didn't play very well today? It's hard to pick one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
really?
hard to pick one of their players.
I thought Scally played well.
I can't pronounce his name ever. I don't know if it was like Play or Plale or whatever it is. I had like when he got substituted, I was like, I didn't even know he was playing. which is never like reassuring for a player.
We're just gonna go on the share screen again, folks, and go on Twitter. Look at this from SofaScore. SofaScore have given Jan Sommer a 10, saying a perfect goalkeeping display. 19 saves, 11 save shots from inside the box, 4 clearances, 2 punches, 1 high claim, 74 touches and 10 SofaScore rating. Most saves in a single match in our entire database, and that database is huge. We've got... let me just get rid of this person. There we go. Sorry, there's a fake account trying to put stuff on our account. Let's have a look. Gladbach have put, you'd always take a point away at Bayern.
Why is Karius trending?
Is he trending? He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
I love this. Gladbach put, Jan Sommer deserves this point. Please stop shooting, Bayern.
I love that.
Yeah, it's all about Jan Sommer on Twitter at the moment. Bundesliga has even put Jan Sommer appreciation tweet. There was a protester. Yeah, there's a photo here. There was a protester trying to cable tie himself around one of the posts. This happened during the first half, but I mean, Stuart, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But it seemed as though the stewards were ready for him because they made sure they grabbed hold of him literally just seconds before he was about to tie himself to the post.
Yeah. I don't see the purpose of it because they're never going to get far with it.
I mean, what's the point? You stand there, even if you get yourself tied round, they'll get scissors and that's it, drag you out, maybe even get arrested. Well,
get
you
a
probably
stadium
would.
ban, get arrested, get a fine.
That's ridiculous. Bayern Talante says the fire Leroy Sané showed today was my highlight of the match. He really wanted to win the game, and you could see that with this mindset he could be a difference maker, one of the best in the world, and we all know that. Very happy with him today.
I did think he was Munich's best player today.
Who, Sané?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Mane wasn't offside twice, he would have had 2 goals as well. So it just shows, as Stuart said before, it just shows that with that squad they could get goals from left, right, or centre. Don't need to rely on that one man from Poland, as we can all remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're going to nearly wrap it up there. Let's just quickly read more comments. Joe Stanley says, we've got Super Jamie Davis. Jamie knows just what we need. Stu at the back. Stan is in attack. We are LTS FC. Well, where am I? Where am I going? Am I in goal or what? You didn't mention it.
You're just here, mate.
Joe Stanley saying, Sommer staying at Gladbach, you Manx ain't getting him. I mean, I don't know if you just joined us, Joe, but in all fairness, I've already said, if I was Sommer, stay where you are, because at least you'll get game time. With how good he is, you know, he
can't be second choice.
He can't be second choice. No chance.
No.
We're going to end our vote poll. Burgoyne's actually wondering if we can loan out Stanners. I'll be happy to. You know, he is a cop-out.
I think we could get a good fee for him, like loan fee.
Yeah. Yeah, I want his coat. Anyway, so we have ended our man of the match poll, 100% all towards Sommer after 9 of you have voted. So thanks for those that voted. Before we go, folks, remember to give us a like to the stream if you've enjoyed it, and also do subscribe to Let's Talk Sport. We'll be hoping to do more. Whenever we can't do watch logs, we'll be up for trying to do more live match reactions straight after the games, whether that's in the Bundesliga, Serie A, Ligue 1, Premier League, you name it, whatever it is you lot want. But anyway, my thanks to Stuart. Final thoughts from you at all?
And just glad Monchengladbach. I can't talk now. I'm just glad Gladbach's able to take some points off Munich. So starting to get worried it's going to start being a boring season without Munich has started blowing away side, being like winning lots of like 6-1 and like ridiculous scores like that. So it's quite nice that the Bundesliga might be quite entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, I think if Bayern are going to win the league, then so be it. But let's at least have a title race. And who knows? Maybe
at least one going to April, May time at least.
Yeah, not December.
Yeah.
or before the World Cup this time, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When it all starts in November. But anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you very soon on Let's Talk Sport.